Welcome back to AP World History. We're moving on into Chapter 7. We'll take a look at the Abbasid decline. We'll look at the Crusades and see how the Muslim community contributed to the world at that time and how it spread to Southeast Asia. In the Middle East and other parts of Europe, the Islamic faith spread through conquest. It will sweep across northern Africa up to the Iberian Peninsula, which is Spain and Portugal, and be stopped in what we now call present-day France. In the Southeast Asian quadrant, the Sufis, or Muslim holy men, will spread the word of Islam. They were considered missionaries, and they preached the tenets of the faith, and it appealed to a certain group of people in various places in Southeast Asia. They also traveled by caravan, and they also were shipped around by dhows that sailed from different ports in the Middle East and India and Southeast Asia, spreading the word and trading. Here's a picture of a dhow. An Arab caravan. They were certainly into trading with their neighbors. Along with the Muslim faith, of course, they bring their culture with them. They seem to be on the cutting edge in a lot of different areas in science and medicine and astronomy and such. Other cultures seem to embrace the Muslim culture because of the things that they had to offer. Arab trade and commerce helped spread the Islamic faith. By the 9th century CE, the Abbasid dynasty had begun to lose its control, similar to the Umayyads, and it really was corruption within and pressure from without. The Abbasid dynasty will last until about 1250 CE, when they're taken over by the Mongols. Because of this corruption, they're going to experience a loss of favor among the people in their empire. The third Abbasid Caliph, Mahdi, of course, was a Sunni, because the Ubaydad and Abbasid dynasties were the Sunni branch of Islam. Tried to moderate, it tried to bring the Shiite Muslims back in to the fold, but was unsuccessful. This shows the Abbasid Empire at its peak, and you can see that they had extensive trading, camel routes, caravans going to different places, and also shipping throughout Southeast Asia, India, and the Middle East, and even in the Mediterranean. The Shiite Muslims revolt against the Abbasid rulers and officials because they hate each other, but they also see a weakness within the dynasty. After Mahdi leaves, he dies, his son Al-Rashid will ascend to the throne, and because of this, there will be no civil war. Now, Al-Mahdi had quite a harem, and there were a lot of wives and children, but Al-Rashid will be the successor. Al-Rashid will rule for about 35 years. Like his father Al-Mahdi, Al-Rashid lived an extravagant lifestyle. He was into building mosques and palaces to display his wealth and power. The tales of the Arabian Nights, the 1001 Nights, come out of this period, out of Baghdad, Sinbad, and different stories. So they were into literature. Plots and power struggles will weaken the empire, and after Al-Rashid's death, civil war will break out. This is a manuscript of 1001 Nights. These were oral stories and then eventually written in Arabic. After the civil war, Aman will become the new caliph to the throne. Later, his son, heir to the throne, will build a huge bodyguard of 70,000 slave mercenaries, and they will be the real power behind the throne. Um, Not something that the caliph had originally planned. In 846 CE, the mercenary forces murdered the reigning caliph and placed one of his sons on the throne. So that's the kind of power that they had. There was a lot of social unrest within the empire, uh, and soldiers essentially become thugs. The imperial breakdown and a growing disorder, people lose faith in the government. It's chaotic. Heavy taxes are placed on the peasantry. Pillaging is normal within the kingdom. And some people move out of the kingdom to escape this carnage. The Shiites, of course, are going to keep poking at the Abbasid because they're Sunni and encourage peasants to revolt for a better life. Eventually, the Abbasid dynasty will eventually collapse from internal and external pressures, and it will weaken the Islamic Middle East. About this time, in about 1100, the European Crusades start. Pope Urban II calls for a crusade to take back the Holy Land. Holy Land being the most sacred place in all of Christendom. In 1096, Crusaders launched their first crusade to take back the Holy Land, and they are successful. 3 years later, they capture the city of Jerusalem and massacre the Muslims and Jews who were there. This shows the pictures of the Western Crusades, starting from 1096 and going all the way up through 1270 CE. For nearly 2 centuries, the Europeans maintained control of the Holy Land, but eventually they're going to be forced out by a man named General Saladin, who is going to expel the Christians from not only Jerusalem, but from the Middle East. And so Jerusalem will fall back into the Muslim hands. One of the conditions that the fleeing Christians make is that they are allowed to come back on pilgrimages to Jerusalem, and Saladin will agree to this. As far as the Crusades are concerned, this is a mixing of East and West. A lot of things that the Crusaders experienced over those 2 centuries, they liked the different spices and cloth and different goods that they were able to trade with the Arabs. And so they're going to develop a taste for that. This picture of General Saladin. As the power of the Abbasid dynasty declined, Islamic civilization reached new heights in science and in math and religion. They really are the cutting edge, while Europe is slipping into the Dark Ages. There was a chance to make money within the kingdom for the most part, and they had a growing urban center. The Middle East will serve as a middleman between Asia and Europe, and there will be sustained prosperity, which will encourage artisans to create different things. Mosques and palaces grew larger, more ornate during the Abbasid Empire. The Muslim engineers and architects created great architectural treasures. The Arabic language will be replaced by the Persian language in the Abbasid court. The Arabic language will remain for the religion and law and natural science. Of course, there's poetry written during this time and very popular among various groups. And we'll stop there, and then we'll pick up the contributions that the Muslims make to science.